Some client meetings change before the advisor has even caught up to what changed. The agenda is still sitting there on the table. The numbers are ready. The plan is ready. Then the client says they're getting divorced, and suddenly it's a different meeting.
And that moment matters because it tells you right away this is no longer just a technical conversation. On the surface, it may still sound like money, the house, the accounts, support, cash flow, paperwork, but underneath all of that, the client is usually carrying something much heavier.
This is Advising Humans, a show about the human side of advice and what it takes to guide clients well when life gets complicated.
And in these mini episodes, we pull out one practical insight advisors and firm leaders can use right away. Today, it's about the meeting shift, that moment when divorce becomes the real agenda and why good advising has to adjust with it.
They may sound composed, they may even sound certain, but that doesn't mean they're actually clear.
No. A client can sound certain and still be completely overwhelmed. They can look calm on the outside and still be mentally overloaded. They could be grieving or scared or just trying to hold it all together, and they're being asked to make huge decisions that could shape the next decade of their life. That's why divorce isn't just a financial event. It's a human transition with financial consequences.
And that feels like the part so many advisors miss. Most know how to work through the numbers. That's their training. But fewer really know how to respond to the human reality underneath it all.
Because when the room changes like that, the advisor's value is no longer just technical. It becomes about whether they can help the client slow down, get a little clearer, and take the next step without making a decision they may regret later. That's the shift. The meeting stops being about optimization first and starts being about steadiness first.
Wow. And that's a very different role in the room.
It really is. Because the instinct a lot of advisors have in that moment is the fix-it reflex.
The fix-it reflex?
They want to help, so they jump in and start solving. They explain all the options. They lay out all the decisions. And that instinct makes sense, but it can fall flat when the client is flooded with emotion. Good information too early can feel like more pressure.
So it's not that the advice itself is wrong, it's that the client may not be in a place to use it well yet.
That's it. Which is why recognizing this moment matters so much. The real job, at least at first, isn't to cover everything. It's to bring steadiness. The goal for that first meeting is usually to help the client feel less alone, less flooded, and a little more oriented, not to solve every practical issue right there.
That really changes how you see the meeting. Because suddenly the advisor isn't trying to win the meeting with more information. They're trying to lower the heart rate in the room.
Yes, structure reduces suffering. Sequencing creates clarity. And when advisors really get that, they stop treating the human side as some extra layer. They start to see it as part of the real work.
So maybe that's the part that matters most. There are meetings where your technical expertise matters most, and then there are meetings like this where your steadiness matters more.
And divorce is one of the clearest examples of that. If you can recognize that shift in the meeting, you show up differently. Your pacing changes, you ask better questions, you help the client feel steadier before you ask them to carry anything more.
And that's really the point, isn't it? In a meeting like this, the client usually doesn't need more force from you. They need less pressure, more calm, more structure, a better way to take the next step.
Right. Because when you help someone feel steadier first, the decisions that follow usually get better too. And that's often where trust deepens, not because you moved fast, but because you helped them think more clearly in a moment that could have easily spun out.
If this conversation made you think differently about what a client may really need when divorce becomes the real agenda, share it with another advisor or leader who wants to bring more steadiness and clarity to moments like this.
And if you want the full meeting flow, the key questions, and the practical tools that help you lead these conversations well, they're inside the Divorce Transition Playbook Suite for advisors.
Because in moments like this, clients don't just need answers. They need someone who can help the meeting slow down enough for better decisions to happen.
Thanks for listening to Advising Humans.
We'll see you next time.